Hi there, I'm fridaywitch, and I'm here to show you some really good strategies on how to maximize the amount of stuff you gain from having multiple characters while minimizing the time you spend on them. This will be covering strategies best used for PSO2 North America, so if you're playing on the JP servers, some of this may not apply. There are things in this video also that reference the Independence Day event from 2020, so if you're watching this in the future, after this event is expired, then some of this may not apply. So with that in mind, welcome to my lair, and let's dive in. There are a few ways to go about this, so let's go over what choices you have. After that, I'll go over what you earn from each method, then I'll put it all up on a table at the end to showcase how much each method gets you of each thing, along with the time investment, so you can determine how you want to go about this. One option you have is to have 3 characters, but delete 2 of them every day and just keep only one of them as your main character. Your other 2 options involve having 3 or more characters, but you keep them instead of deleting them. Now, if you want to have more than 3 characters, that does require that you purchase AC. So if you're wanting to cash in Friday style, you may have to bust out your wallet. The reason why you can't do that and do the character deletion at the same time is because it would end up being really expensive in AC. It costs about 500 AC, which is about $5 USD, to create any new characters beyond the 3rd. Thing is, that does not open another character slot, so should you create a 4th character, then you delete it, you would have to pay 500 AC again to create the 4th character again. Hopefully now you can see how this would very quickly become expensive if you try to do the character deletion method with more than 3 characters. Do bear in mind that some of the things in these strategies require that you have a main character that has been playing for quite a bit, and has amassed quite a few things, and opened up certain client orders, and also have access to some of those other NPCs that you don't have access to when you start a fresh character. Method number 1, deleting 2 characters daily. I'll be honest, this is not my method of choice, not because it's inferior, but because I love having multiple characters and playing them. So I'm briefly going to go over another person's strategy from the ARKS layer community, and their name is Rio. They have a video, which I'll link in the description, in case you want to watch them do an entire run of a single character in 30 minutes. Meaning, you could do this with 2 characters in an hour. Well, after he creates his character, here's a brief rundown of everything that Rio does. He creates a hunter, grabs a Nox Partisan, red meat, abandoned potatoes, a neighbor shroom, a Lillipin vest, a Dusking Dragon scale, Whipple shell, Barukaton fragment, and a partisan photon art disc from storage. He talks to Aphin and Coffee, finishes out those client orders, talks to the Mag Lady next to the class counter, and completes that client order, and spends all of his skill points on increasing melee defense in order to help him equip the Nox Partisan early. At this point, he goes into the ARKS missions and turns in a giant pile of these. Now, most of these he's turning in come from having completed the story mode on his main character. After this, you should be at level 20. If not, you may have to grind some XP. Once you've done that, talk to Coffee in a start and unlock access to your auxiliary. Next up, you give Sugar Daddy Yerks his goodies and grab a random client order from Franca. Run to the casino, play a game of Arkham slots, redeem the ARKS mission for that to unlock the Blacknyak ARKS mission, and then win a hand of Blacknyak. If you don't know the best way to do it, my friend Mr. Morn has gone ahead and given us a basic strategy for it, which I 100% agree with. Just play it safe, and anytime you have 12 or more, to just stand. Meow will take all the risks for you, and eventually he will bust, or you'll just simply win. Shout out to Morn for that. I'll put a link to his Twitch channel in the description below. Once you're done with the casino, return the red meat into Zia in front of the Statue of Liberty and accept her other client order. Talk to Yan. Do his client orders for the storage, the Visphone, enhancing a weapon, boosting a weapon element, and adding augments to the weapon. He gives you all the materials you need for that. Go to the salon, and then create an auxiliary. Once you've done that, accept your ARK missions. Then place the auxiliary in your quarters, accept your ARKS missions again, and then send off your auxiliary. It's important that you accept your ARKS missions there, otherwise you will not be getting all the photon spheres that you could be getting from that. After that, we'll talk to Joseph, accept boot camp number 1. Make sure you equip your weapon, use your partisan photon art disc, and then do a Volcanic Caves normal expedition. We'll rush straight to Area 2 and kill Fodrin. It's the big four-legged thing with a giant horn sticking out of its chest. This is for Coffee's subclass client order. Once you've killed Fodrin, we'll telepipe out, and we'll do boot camp number 1. That is done in the Nefarious one-time attack. This has the Garango kill you need for Coffee's subclass order. Once you finish that, turn in boot camp number 1 and Coffee's client order, and then accept boot camp number 2. Boot camp number 2 is the Harukaton Rush Practice time attack. You'll need to do this on hard in order to get credit for it, and it's going to be quite difficult with you being as low level as you are. You'll want to bring NPC friends or regular friends for this one, so the enemies have other targets aside from you. Hopefully your friends can help you pull through. Turn that in, once you're done, to Joseph. Then we'll go and turn in Zia's client order to unlock the one for the potatoes. We'll turn in the potatoes. You'll get your mag feeding kit from the ARKS missions, assuming you have hit the level for that, and then you're done. From here, you can sell the spheres and food for money if you don't need them. And, yeah. Now it's time for my method in regards to keeping your characters. This works for 3 characters all the way up to 12. Again, this is my personal strategy that I do, so I don't spend all day on all 12 of my characters. I would like to actually enjoy this game. So, with that being said, I will also afterwards mention a couple extra things that you may want to do if you're willing to spend a little more time on it. So, first let's get set up, things that you need to know and have done before we get started. To start off, your characters need to be level 50 or higher in their main class to make the most of this. You can't get 2.5 million meseta per week per character from the weeklies if they're not at least level 50. If you care about earning star gems, you'll save yourself a ton of meseta in the long run if you make your characters either male or caste. Any female characters that are not caste will have very expensive star gem outfits to buy from the player shop, and that adds up over time. You may want to make them all the same class as well, specifically a class that you're comfortable with that you can work quickly in. I chose Fighter, because I work quickly with Fighter, and I'm super confident in playing Fighter, but honestly in the end just do what works for you. The benefit in having them all the same class is, aside from just being familiar with them, is that you can share one set of gear between all of your alts by simply using the default storage. I'm gonna run a clip of me doing one of my runs, and I'll keep a timer running so you can see how long it takes for me to do a run with a character, all while I explain what I'm doing here. First things first, we'll redeem 10 star gems from the outfit that you're currently wearing, and then throw it in storage so you can either later resell it or turn it into a recycle badge. Grab another star gem outfit and put it on so you can redeem that tomorrow. Have a drink. This is for 3 Lambda Grinders. The next thing I do is I go and accept a ton of daily orders while getting rid of other client orders that you don't want. Assuming you only use this character for farming items and for meseta and you don't actually play them on a regular basis, you should cancel every client order that's not a daily order or one that I'll discuss later. You want to accept as many as possible and fill out as many client order slots as you can. You normally have 20. You can get 20 more client order slots by having premium, and you can get 20 more as well by paying 300 AC for a month worth of 20 extra client orders for your entire account, which includes all of your characters. I personally do this a lot and like to run 60, but it's not necessary. You can do just fine with 20. It's just a personal preference of mine. Next thing I'll do is I'll turn the meat and potatoes into Zia. Then we'll go to the casino and switch to a populated block, like 1, 2, 42, or 69. If you care about Summoner, or may care about it in the future, So make sure you talk to All In and accept the client order for beating King Meseton for a Caramel Crusher. Those generally cost 8 X cubes, so you could be saving yourself quite a bit by grabbing these Caramel Crushers along the way. The next two require you to have completed the Archimus Lots and Blackniak ARKS missions on this character previously. You'll go towards the Blackniak table, and on the way, you'll look to see if anyone is playing Mesetan Shooter. If not, I don't personally bother, because it takes a while, but it's your prerogative. If there is someone playing it, I'll join them and look at the upcoming waves. If you're in a gold wave, or a gold wave is coming up, play until you proc the Defeat King Meseton prize. Luckily, I joined a game where they had killed it earlier in the wave, so it just automatically propped and I straight up jumped out of there. Next up, we're going to go win a hand of Blackniak. Again, if you don't know what you're doing here, just choose Stand if you're holding anything 12 or higher, and choose Hit if you're holding anything 11 or lower. Do this until you win a hand. Once you've done that, run back to All In and see if his client order was completed. If so, don't forget to grab your Caramel Crusher. Then turn in all of your ARKS missions, deposit all of the items you grabbed, and all of your meseta except for a couple hundred. The reason for that is so you can have a drink tomorrow. Log out and repeat this with all of your other characters. There are a couple things I will sometimes add if I'm feeling up to spending a little more time. These could be beating King Meseton even if no one is playing Mesetan Shooter at the time. It takes a little longer, but it's still worth it for the 100% try boost. You could spend the harvesting and fishing stamina on each of your characters. If you do this, make sure you go fishing first until you hit fever, then run your entire fever on mining, so if you end up grabbing any of Sugar Daddy Yerx's goodies, you end up with multiples thanks to the fever multiplier. Another thing you can do is kill Barlodos on every character if it's the day where there's the Barlodos daily order that gives you a 250k meseta bonus. There are some other things that you could do every day that could be worth it to you. I personally don't do them because the time spent on them does not give me a reward that I feel is worth the time, but maybe it's worth it to you. You could clear a super hard expedition for the 1 X cube on the ARKS missions. You could turn in a daily order for 1 Photon Sphere from the ARKS missions. You can use a booster or a food for a Tri-Boost 50%, and if you do all 3 of those, you get another Tri-Boost 50%. You can also play Archimus Slots on each character for 3 casino coin passes during the Independence Day event. And also, if you feel like it, go and complete some more of the daily orders that pay out 100k meseta. Those aren't bad either. As for things to do every week, this is the main reason why you want to have so many characters. The weekly reset happens on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you turn in Sugar Daddy Yerx's things for 500,000 meseta, and complete your weekly ARKS missions for 2 million meseta. This is why we accept piles of daily orders. The reason why is oftentimes the weekly ARKS mission will ask you to turn in 10 daily client orders. By having accepted a bunch of these daily orders already from the previous days, you have a wide range of client orders that you can knock out real quick, and in some cases you may already have completed these client orders from doing other things, so you can knock that one out super fast. Also, to make note, if there's a client order that lets you turn in any number of a certain item, try not to turn in all of them, because all of your characters are going to want to turn that in. So usually I only just turn in 1 and keep the rest of the pile. Lastly, there are other missions you may want to do that you can only do once during the Independence Day event per character, but they're absolutely worth getting. By killing a boss, you complete an ARKS mission, and it will unlock the Defeat 3 boss enemies. Beat that, and there's a Defeat 6 boss enemies. Get that, and there is a Defeat 10 boss enemies. And when you complete that one, it will give you a 40% augmentation aid, which generally sell for 100 X cubes a pop. Don't sleep on this. These are pricey and valuable. The fastest way I found to get this done is to run the time attack mission called Harukaton Rush Practice. Do it on normal, bring some NPCs or friends to make this even faster. I mean, honestly, I can clear it in about a minute and a half, and it's got 3 bosses in it. Just rinse and repeat until you get your augmentation. And with all that said, here's a comparison of all the different methods side by side. There's Rio method, having 2 characters being deleted every day, and then here's my method with 3 characters, 6 characters, and 12 characters. So, taking a look at each of these, there are pros and cons to each method. I'm going to focus on the 2 free-to-play options, because those are going to apply to the most people. The other options for 6 and 12 characters are just expansions upon the free-to-play option of keeping the characters. So with that being said, Rio's method actually earns a lot more meseta than I thought it would for only having 3 characters. Plus, that 16.5 million doesn't even account for selling the mag food or selling the photon spheres that you don't need. So that's a really good turnaround for if you're willing to put in the 1 hour a day for the 2 characters, plus the spending a little extra time on your main. My method of keeping the characters spends less time doing it, and will earn you star gems and lambda grinders, and tri boosters, but you don't get as much meseta out of it, unless you amp the number of characters you're running to 6, or even all the way up to 12. Now, also, I do want to point out that in order to get the star gems off of my method, you will need to dig into some of that money that you've earned, some of that meseta on the player shops, to buy the outfits that have star gems on them. So, to get the star gems, you will need to dip into the meseta just a little bit, just so you all are aware, and wondering how you get all those. That's how you do it. You buy it from the player shops. With all that being said, thanks for listening and watching. That was my first PSO2 YouTube video. I hope it was awesome and informative. I look forward to making more of these soon. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a like. Feel free to comment telling me if you liked it, or if you have any comments or anything to add, and feel free to hit that silly subscribe button. I do have a Twitch, although it's been a bit inactive since I started playing PSO2. I'll probably pick that up again soon. Link is in the description. Shoutouts to Rio for the character deletion method. Again, there's a link to his 30-minute run below in the description. And shoutout to my friend Warren for the Blackjack strategy, and also for pointing out about the Caramel Crusher in the casino. There's a link to his Twitch below. If I forgot anything, don't hesitate to put it in the comments. And until next time, have a great one.